Hello again, and today we have episode 3 of The Better Version of Yourself. I want to start out with something very global. When we say the better version of yourself, doesn't mean the old version is bad. It just means that our life can become better if we are better aware of ourselves, how we react to ourselves. We sometimes don't even know how we react to ourselves. We think we know, but we don't. Second, when we know how we react to ourselves, we control how we react to situations we cannot control or to people we react. So that is globally said. Now, what can help us tremendously to know more about ourselves, to turn into the better version of ourselves for us, for ourselves? First of all, a lot of people are not aware that our personal energy is a big indicator of our mindset, of our thoughts, of our behavior, and of our acting. Now, as we all know and heard, I think everybody is aware now that the energy, the global energy, is shifting. I will go closer into it in Shifting Energy Part 3 in my series about shift of energy. But just to say here, we go in an area of different values, of different spiritual meaning, and of different meaning of words again. And that has to do with ourselves too. Because we got used in adopted pattern where we confused ourselves subconscious without knowing we confused ourselves. So I just go with a simple word everybody likes to hear: I love you. When I go through the supermarket, when I go on the street, wherever I go, people meet, and no matter in what relation they are in, you just hear them tell each other, I love you. That might have to do with the English language, because there is no other word for I love you, where in other languages it distinguishes how personal and intimate it is. But here we should really go back to the basics of what we think and feel about love. Of course it feels good if somebody tells you I love you. But what love is it? How we distinguish? We meet the person of our life and tell them I love you. We have an old friend or whatever, an old neighbor we meet again, and we go away and say I love you. That is a different quality of love. And if we start distinguishing it for ourselves, that is already the first step to become a better version of ourselves, because we distinguish how we give our love away, how deep it is, and how we feel about that love. And also the reflection of the love. So when we go to the English language, we have opportunities to distinguish and to separate love. There's a way of saying to somebody, I really deeply love you, instead I love you. So that already has a different meaning. And there's many, many phrases we can use, like when I say about the different relationships we have, the tendency is, I read it and hear it a lot from my clients, and I read it online on social media and wherever, this word soulmate. Let me tell you, I know so many relationships where people are not soulmates, and they are tremendous. They have such a loving, long relationship, and the consequence of that will be that it's longer and longer. And as longer as you with somebody, the better you know him, and the better you get to know yourself too, how you react in this relationship. So here, the longer you in a loving relationship, the more you can improve for yourself too, to see how much effort you put in for the relationship. And it is also for you because you are in a relationship as well. So let me go back to that soulmate. What I learned about soulmate is it is beautiful when you meet your soulmate. It is beautiful. But not everybody does. One thing I really have to be honest with, and you can read it up, a soulmate doesn't always have to be your counterpart in a romantic relationship. Your soulmate can be one of your kids. Your soulmate can be your male friend, female friend. It can be an uncle. So soulmate has to do with the souls are mates and has nothing necessarily to do with a misconception that is only for romantic relationship. So knowing that already again, you can put a different mark on soulmate. And knowing that as well, you can improve as well. You look for something it matches. And that gives you security, that gives you a less stressful search for the ultimate partner. Now, going back to all the names we throw out there, there is one thing which is only for romantic relationships, and you probably all heard about, and I mentioned it in my relationship series once. We call it twin flame. Now be careful. Be careful when you consider somebody twin flame, because twin flame will affect you and the other person tremendously, because you are losing the power you think you have, because that's when feelings and emotions take over. How does it affect you, and how can you be the best version of yourself if that ever happened to you, you run into your twin flame? That is actually not very complicated. Look at the consequences. Everything has consequences. And even you are a little bit out of power when the feelings take over, you still can work on yourself and for yourself. How is until you know the consequences and not put expectations on there, they're not realistic. Having that twin flame relationship means actually two halves of one soul come together as one. It doesn't mean every day is honey and hunky-dory. No, it doesn't mean that. But it means it's a solid relationship. So, what does it do for you? How you can be better at that? Don't put your expectations too high. Stay grounded. And staying grounded is a basic of yourself. Being humble is a basic of yourself. And also knowing the commitment you go into. You are committed. You are secure and solid for yourself. Even if you go in this most powerful relationship of twin flame, it's two souls has one, but still two people. And they still have their own opinion. And they still need to sit down and work it out. And here is the challenge. If your feelings are so big for that person, where do you set the boundaries for yourself in a discussion and for the other person so it doesn't turn into an ugly fight? Here is again, get to know yourself, how you react to certain situations, that you can control of your voice, of your emotions, and of your momentarily maybe angry feelings. Anger doesn't get you anywhere. So this part emphasizes becoming the better version of yourself, no matter in what situation you're in. Know about the consequences and what you're getting into. What you getting into, what could stop your growth and your development for the better version of yourself, where you are not thinking about the consequences and give things away, where later disappointment can make you do a step backwards, becoming the better version of yourself. And I want you to become the best version of yourself. You want to know more? Just ask me. I'll see you soon.